We're all on.
We're online.
One of these technical issues. I'm happy to be on this side.
But we will have a physical, we have a physical office there at the mooring field with staff that are there that could help facilitate ticket sales and so forth. So folks, especially during season, who don't have a car and they're already down in that area, they could hop on that boat, go to Mound House, see the Mound House, and then go out to Mound Key. And what a wonderful adventure for somebody who, and we could, I think it just has so many opportunities. And again, to partner somehow with the town's mooring field and upland facilities, you just got all that dynamic there. And we've got staff already down there too to help marriage that together. But yeah, I think not only would that be great for the Mound Key, but that will draw people to the Mound House as
You bet.
well.
Yeah.
You bet.
Yeah. Yeah,
Great
It's a
idea.
biggie. It's a
Excellent
biggie.
idea.
it's a great idea.
You're good at good ideas.
I love that thing.
So I guess my point of that was, we are working with other companies too to bring, boats and pontoons and stuff to Mound House, so that'll be a good segue.
Yeah, and that wouldn't
Exactly.
conflict either, because this.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm
No,
just saying we already have.
and a good thing, I mean, because that water ferry probably wouldn't be going to Mound Key. It would be obviously
Right.
hitting,
Right.
hitting the Santini Plaza, the marina there, and Snook Bite, the Mound House, and then, whether it's the Arches or Pink Shell, whatever it turns out to be. But at a minimum, then hopefully it goes across the bay as well, so.
Yeah, we've been in talks with them for a while.
It's great.
Since
It's
we
wonderful.
started.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Jim,
We're open to that.
was I hearing things, it seemed like on the news a week ago or so, that it was either the Hilton or somebody, and they said that they were gonna come to Mound Key on
Oh,
their ferry.
No, now that I did not hear. Yeah,
Did
I know they're
anybody
coming to
else
Fort
hear
Myers
that?
Beach, but,
Yeah, and then I heard them say Mound Key.
okay.
And that could have been maybe a goof on their part, but I did a double take.
Yeah,
And
it could be.
They said Mound House, and
Mound House or Mound Key?
Mound House.
Mound House.
Wow.
Never heard that. I assume they would be in touch with Adam at
Did
some
they
point.
talk to you?
If they come, I don't really.
You'll be happy.
I'll be
I
happy.
know.
They can dock there.
They,
They can dock there and do whatever they want.
yeah, it must have been on NBC, and maybe it was an error on their part. But they were talking. They
Yeah,
said
it's-
to Mound
Dock
House,
is there
and I
for
went,
people to dock up and.
yeah,
Yeah.
they
hang
could
out
have
at
told
the-
us
the
if,
Mound House and take a tour and.
yeah.
Yeah, over the years, I remember people coming by boat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We encourage that, that's what that's.
Yeah,
there
they
for.
have that
Is
ferry.
that new
you know.
signage up?
Yes, the new signage is up. So on the observation pier, there's a brand new sign that says Dock and Discover, Museum, Park,
Wonderful.
Kayaks. And then on the, it's quite large, you can see it from the pass when you're going by on boat. And then on the small dock or the dinghy dock, there's a replacement sign that says welcome. And it says that, limited, space is limited for visiting Mound House. Something that's, more friendly,
Right.
or friendlier than the previous sign that was up. So hopefully that will encourage more people. And we have noticed a slight increase in people coming by boat to beat the traffic.
It was
Nice.
nice that it is visible from the channel.
Yeah.
So in the back bay, that's so important, good.
Hmm.
So the
And
tour,
that was also done this month,
No, that was,
It was.
it was?
the new signs.
The new signs were purchased last month, and I think they were installed this month. Yeah.
This
Oh,
month,
okay.
yes.
Yes.
so
Something about
Adam,
this.
I've noticed that there are tour operators that seem to stop in front of the Mound House. Do you
Uh-huh.
talk with them to make sure they're giving out accurate information?
I have tried to reach out, have unfortunately not been successful yet in brokering relationships with those operators.
We've also heard the stories on their loudspeakers, so, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yes.
And the,
There-
are they,
unfortunately, there is some information that we've had a couple people visit, and they understood because they heard it from a secondary source, but there's couple tour operators that say, oh, go visit the Mount House. You can go into the underground's open, you can visit it. So it gets them all, that's it, you know,
It
really,
is what it is.
according to one of the visitors, really hyped it up for that.
no.
But they completely understood. They still purchased the museum, and they had a good time.
Good.
And we recommended some of the other sites if they enjoyed archaeology.
Could the wooden doors that you have over the underground be replaced with plexiglass so you can at least look in?
It could, but then the issue is light, and then also on the wooden doors,
Uh-huh.
which are before the actual
Right.
doors, there is mold growth
Oh.
on the wood doors,
Mm.
so I don't think it may be a safety issue to have people that close, or because then ventilation is also an issue.
Right.
So we don't want really people close to that
Until we're
area
ready.
because it's, you know, health and safety comes first,
Right.
unfortunately.
It'd
Well,
be
not
so nice
unfortunately,
if people
but
could just.
Oh, well, we do want that.
we do
Yeah,
want
I
them
guess I put a camera inside and have a video, yeah.
That's
Oh,
perfect.
yeah, we do.
we do
Yeah,
want
we
people
do.
safe.
We do.
Yeah, and I just,
All right, thank
we
you,
were,
Adam.
we were just spitballing over here, but
Yeah.
could you have a camera with a light onto the underground exhibit that people could see it on a video TV outside?
We would then have to do work on, because the underground is wired independently, so then we would have to start work in the underground and replacing the electrical system.
Oh.
Even for just
that-
one camera?
Even
Just
just-
run an extension cord from one camera and then out?
I'm-
I'm just thinking, 'cause to
Yeah.
Ellen's
People
point,
wanna-
people
yeah.
just to stop in and get a sense of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There, we are working on a couple ideas, because again, the underground does not look like how you remember it. Even people who have visited post DN. There are several collapses, so the pictures that are in like Pat's book or the pictures of the underground profile, it does not look like that. It doesn't look really nice. It looks really rough. So we do have some ideas of having kind of what it used to look like and what it currently looks like, and having kind of outdoor temporary signage, similar to whenever you walk by an apartment complex that's under construction and you have an idea of
Floor plan.
floor plans,
Yeah, I think that's-
kind of like an idea of what it used to look like and what it currently looks like, and with an explanation of this is why it's closed,
Right.
so people can physically somewhat see there was damage to the archaeological profile, the mound, and a little bit of explanation in terms of like project updates of terms of moving forward. And then after Milton, actually just a few weeks after Milton, a part of the services that Florida Public Archaeology Network provides, is a close working partner with us and has guided us really for years through Ian's recovery and now through Hilton and Hilton and you got me mixed up
I'm
last
sorry.
night.
No, that's
Helene and Milton. They did do a full 3D scan of the room. So there is actually a digital scan of the underground room. So we're trying to figure out some way to display that in the museum so people can view it maybe on a new kiosk system in the museum. So that's what we're working on right now, but I'll look more into the camera idea.
Did the FEMA folks actually go into the underground exhibit?
Yes.
So even industrial hygienists, they went in there? Did they have like hazmat suits on or something, or what?
Masks were encouraged.
That's
we did
it,
not,
though?
Yeah,
That's it?
Basic. I told them the risk. They were only in there for 5 minutes,
Okay.
just enough to kind of understand and take pictures. So, but whenever staff go in there, we wear masks.
And 95.
Yeah. Do we have a hygienist to come in and assess the mold? And we do, I mean, I know someone that does
Wow.
that.
Yeah, through
You do?
the town's insurance
Mhm.
company.
The doctorate, has her doctorate in, what is it called,
Industrial hygienist?
yeah, I guess, where they come in and assess the mold. She used to work for OSHA.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you could
pass it
send
on
that,
to Adam. We'll
please.
Okay,
Definitely.
okay.
Yeah.
That sounds exciting. That sounds like what we're looking for.
Good, good, good.
Agree. Okay, anything more, Adam? As if there could be anything.
There could be. I know, I'm kidding. No, I think that's the end of the the staff report. Yes.
Thank you, Adam.
Well, there's hope. There's hope.
There's
Any
hope.
other questions for Adam before we move on to, the MAP program? There being none, then, we'll go to old business. Again, Adam.
Yeah, so I know we discussed the governance section. Again, we're looking at a new document, the Museum Assessment Program, Organizational Assessment Final Report, on page 11. That's the beginning of the governance section. I know there was some beginning conversation. We maybe got halfway through this section. But if anyone else had any other feedback, if they reread it or had any ideas, potentially Karina and Nancy, especially Nancy, you weren't here last meeting. If you had anything to add for the governance report, or maybe if you want to provide your insight to the MAP program and the peer review visit and basically the whole thing, I think that might be helpful.
Well, amazingly, we started this almost a year ago, wasn't it? Could you speak
Use
into the
your-
microphone a
use your
little
mic.
bit better, thank you?
Amazingly, it's been almost a year since we started this process. Doesn't seem possible. But we, our group that Adam assembled, we just looked at every aspect imaginable of the Mound House, its physical properties, its community engagement, and this piece with governance, which we're focusing on today. It brought in the stakeholder perspectives. It wasn't, are we right, are we wrong, is it true? But each stakeholder, from whether they were a volunteer or a staff member or upper management, whatever, or friends member, whatever aspect you came from, what was your position and what did you believe was the governance? And we got some really interesting takes on that, and not everybody was on the same page. So there was a great deal of discussion about that. And so the map, from at least my point of view, isn't a document telling us how to proceed. It's an assessment of stakeholder viewpoints of what is going on. Where do we have consensus? Where is the confusion? What is working well? What needs work? And what's the future of the organization? That was my understanding of the MAP process. And yes, some things bubbled up that were a little, really, maybe even a little uncomfortable. I think I felt that people felt free to express their sincere opinions. So again, sometimes there was maybe a little dissension or a little going on, but it was a good gathering source of a lot of different perspectives. I guess, yeah, any questions about that? I mean, that was my perspective, Adam, why I was participating, why we were all participating. And I thought we gathered a lot of good information to absorb and act on in the future.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a little bit like truth and reconciliation. You have to acknowledge that there are issues before you can fix them. And as a country, we're really good at avoiding that. So it would be very nice for us as a small group to set an example.